What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Kill back with another video, man. You already know what's going on. Today I got my boy J-Bo song. We just gonna break this down. I'm not gonna do a start to finish. I've already mixed this, so we're basically gonna talk about the vocal chain I use, some different settings, what different things do, and just kind of break down what we was going for in this mix. So first I'm gonna let y'all hear it with everything on it. So I'm gonna let y'all hear the final product basically, and we'll just go from there and we'll start breaking it down and talking about what's what.
Hey, we're going crazy.
Hey, we what up? My paper get printed. Yeah. My paper get printed. Ain't bad no wigs, my money longer than inches. D-line on line, I came from the church. Free all my niggas stuck in the city. That's why I keep on bringing commas up. But don't worry about what I'm spending. I be chillin'. I get mad and they call me a villain. I never miss. That's what you call them 100%. Fuck what these other niggas doing. Make the right decision. In great condition. Make sure I'm first in every competition. Wide body, eat more beef than a lamb truck. I got a man up. I fucked a lot of hoes, but I know to still keep my pants up. I put Nikes on in every section.
Alright, so y'all can hear it, man. It's sliding. My boy super fire. He actually do everything off the top, so you know, every single song, he don't write nothing. He just get in here, it's straight energy, it's straight vibes, and he just go crazy. So I'll play a little further part, little thing where I filter the beat out a little bit so you can hear the vocals a little bit soloed.
They keep a smile when they try to hurt me. I'm calling out the day because they got the devil working. Why not give out a second chance if nobody my paper get printed?
Alright, so obviously these is melodic vocals. They got a lot of tune on them. They got a lot of reverb on them. So basically what I did, I started off the vocal chain. I went ahead and I put an NS1 on here. Then I put an Avalon on here. So my NS1, I pretty much use that across the board, especially when I'm working with this Shure. This particular song was recorded on this Shure mic. And if you don't have a cloud lifter, or if you got like a, just a preamp or whatever, you got to use a lot of gain. So you tend to get a little bit more like white noise or whatever. So I just go ahead and I take that out with the NS1. And then on this Avalon right here, I just did a little bit of compression. Let's actually watch it work, and then I'll explain what I did. So let's bring it back a little bit, or we'll go to another part of the song.
Do it, let's be honest. And I would never knock a nigga for doing him. That's just nonsense. Giving extra charge to my daughter. We just bonded. Won't throw a fit, put on fit. Do that shit with confidence. What you see is what you get.
All right, so as you can see, I'm using that compressor very, very sparingly. Like, I'm not ODing with it. I got like a 3-to-1 ratio on here. My threshold, it's not that, you know what I'm saying, it's not that deep of a threshold. So it's about like at in between the 5 and 10. So, you know, it's not really too crazy. I am attacking it pretty fast, and I'm holding it pretty long, so it's kind of just holding that vocal, but it's not like OD compression, so that's why it's not squeezing it to the point where, like, the vocal ain't got no life. So if you ever feel like your vocals ain't got no life to them, you probably definitely over-compressing them. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, on this, I just cut those lows a little bit on the bass at the 100 frequency, and I boosted my 20K a little bit more for some presence on here. And you know, all these vocals was recorded on this Shure mic right here. So this mic is typically a darker mic, but it takes EQ really well. So if you need to boost it, if you're recording with this mic and you feel like it's too dull or whatever, go ahead, try boosting your 20K, your 10K, your 8K, and that should go ahead and do the trick to bring it out. So next, I really did some subtractive EQ on here, just dipping out some frequencies I didn't need. I went ahead and rolled off anything below 65 on here, and then I did 2 little dips, very small dips, not OD, and then another dip right here, just of frequencies that I don't like. So just frequencies that sounded weird or whatever. Just took those out right there. Then next after that, I did the SSL, and this right here, I rolled off actually a little bit more. The 120, I kind of just always roll this off. So anything below like 100, 120 in a male vocal, you really don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you want to leave space for the 808, you want to leave space for the kick and all of that. So I just roll that off, you know what I'm saying? But I still can retain the body, you know, by using a Pultec and by boosting other areas of the vocal in the low mids and whatnot to just bring it out. You know what I'm saying? So like here in the low mids, I'm doing a boost right here at the 2.0. So if we was to just solo the vocal right here and I just get rid of that boost, if I turn this boost down, you should be able to hear what it's doing. So let me solo it, play it real quick.
It comes up, but don't worry about what I'm spinning. I be chillin'. I get mad and they call me a villain. I never miss. That's what you call a 100%. Fuck what these other niggas doing. Make the right decision. In great condition. Make sure.
All right, so you see when I pull that back, the vocals get thin. Like the body starts to go away. So around this frequency right here at a 1.28, I'm boosting it just a little bit. Not OD, but I'm boosting it about 2 dB. And that's just giving it a nice little body right there.
Make sure I'm first in every competition. Wide body, emo beef than a lamb truck. I got a man up. I fucked a lot of hoes, but I know to still keep my pants up.
All right, and then on my low filter, I'm cutting out 2 dB right there at the 300 frequency. That's usually like a known muddy, boxy area, so I usually always cut that out at some point, you know what I'm saying? So I did it on the SSL. I got the analog on here because I just like the way it sounds with the analog on. Now, my compression right here that I did on the SSL for this particular song, I had a medium release. My threshold, my ratio was 4.1, and my threshold was negative 14.1, so it was pretty aggressive. So if you look at it, if you look at the meter right here, you can see it working.
Nike's on in every situation, gotta check you first. Bikini bottom drip, how the fuck you get a star on her? I'm not mad.
So at the peaks, we hitting on 10 dB, you know what I'm saying? But his vocals, when he recorded this, like he was really like screaming into the mic, like really giving the mic that energy. So I had to tame those vocals. So that's what I'm using that for. So at the peaks, it's really hitting, but you know, the release is medium, so it's not holding it too long, and it's not the fast attack, so it's not OD. It's just really taming those peaks right there. So after that, I'm gonna show y'all the high filter right here. This 10K right here is a very, very important frequency as far as just presence and whatnot of the vocal. So if I was to just play it, and I'm gonna take this 10K boost out, and you'll see what that does to the vocal.
Ain't buying no wigs, my money longer than it. D-line online, I came from the trenches. Free all my niggas stuck in the sentence. That's why I keep on bringing commas up. But don't worry about what I'm spinning. I be chillin'. I get mad and they call me a villain. I never miss. That's what you call a 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So when you pull that out and you don't boost that 10K, or say even if I just put that 10K flat, the vocals become duller. So listen to it.
D-line online, I came from the trenches. Free all my niggas.
All right, so I'm gonna boost it now.
Stuck in the sentence. That's why I keep on bringing commas up. But don't worry about what I'm spinning. I be chillin'. I get mad and they call me a villain. I never miss. That's what you call a 100%. Fuck what these other niggas doing. Make the right decision. In great condition. Make sure I'm first in every competition.
All right, so I like the way that sounds right there. So if your vocals is dull, always try boosting that 8K. Try boosting that 10K. Try boosting that 20K. It don't matter what you're using, whether you're using a Pultec EQ, whether you're using an SSL like this, or, you know, whether you're using like a graphical EQ, it don't matter. Like those frequencies are key frequencies to bring in more presence to your vocals. All right, so next after that, I de-essed it. I always like to use 2 de-essers most of the time now just to tame it because I boost a lot. And when you're doing all these boosts, you obviously going to introduce sibilants, S's, and all that. So this is a de-esser I like to use from Slate Digital, EOS's de-esser. I've used it on a ton of mixes. My favorite mode is the classic de-essing mode. So it's kind of like this just wide band that goes across the whole vocal. And you can control, the main 2 things that I use right here is the sensitivity and amount. So let me just disable this and then enable it so you guys can kind of hear what it's doing.
I stay on top of bucks like Giannis, and I'm the best to ever do it, let's be honest. And I would never knock a nigga for doing him, that's just nonsense. Giving extra charge to my daughter, we just bonded. Won't throw a fit, put on fit, do that shit with confidence. What you
All right, so like when he said won't throw a fit, like on those certain words, you can see it working. So it's gonna work harder on certain words. My sensitivity isn't that high. Like my sensitivity about halfway. So it's at 44%. So it's not OD sensitive because I don't want to OD de-ess it and basically dull the vocal out again. I want to keep that same presence, but have just enough presence to break through, cut through the beat and everything, but not be sharp when you cranking the beat up, when you cranking the whole song up. So if you playing this in a whip, or if you playing this in some headphones, you want to be able to crank it up without having that harshness. So the main thing with that is de-essing. So I'm doing some light de-essing right here just to tame these boosts I did on this SSL and, you know, this 20K boost I got going on this Avalon. All right, so after that, what I did was I went ahead and used the Pultec pretty much uses some version of the Pultec on every mix. Either way, if I'm using straight Waves plugins, I'll use the Waves version of this. Logic has a version of this if you only got stock plugins. But if you got UAD, I would say you gotta use the UAD Pultec. By far, it sounds the best to me in my opinion. Like I said, I've used this on tons of mixes. So right here, I'm not overdoing it because I've already done so much with the SSL as far as the boost and stuff. So I didn't want to overdo it. And even with the dips, so I'm only cutting out like 2 on the 300 right here. So I'm gonna just disable this so you can see what the Pultec is doing exactly with the vocals. So let me play it back a little bit without it, and then I'm gonna enable it in a few seconds.
D-line online, I came from the trenches. Free all my niggas stuck in the city. That's why I keep on bringing commas up. But don't worry about what I'm spinning. I be chillin'. I get mad and they call me a villain. I never miss. That's what you call.
All right, so if you're listening with headphones or monitors, you can hear like it kind of colored the vocal. You know what I'm saying? It didn't necessarily just give it more presence or anything. It gave it a certain tonality. It gave it a color to it. So that's what I like to use the Pultec for. The sweet, I look at it as like a vocal sweetener. You know what I'm saying? My SSL and my subtractive EQ and my baseline compression is gonna be like the meat of the vocal chain. That's gonna give me like basically the sound that I want. But this Pultec is really just gonna sweeten the sound. It gives me a chance to play with the tone of it. So let me play it without it again. I'm gonna enable it on this one take right here, and I'm gonna have y'all actually hear it better. Let me go somewhere where I filtered out the beat a little bit. So let's go over here where I filtered out the beat on the mix, and let's turn this off real quick. Turn it back on.
Pills, but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it. Don't share for shit fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print. Andrew Jackson print. George Washington print. Cartier's on. I can't see shit. This a different tip. I'm on a different level. I need me a different bitch. I'm Mrs. Michelangelo. Who can I paint the picture with?
All right, so y'all can hear when I disable it. It just gets a little bit more duller, not as polished, not as bright sounding. So, you know, and the tonality changes a little bit. It just gets a little bit darker. So this right here really just excites the vocal a little bit more. So what I did, you can see all my settings right here. I didn't do too much. I just cut my 300 a little bit. I cut my 100 to about 2.5, but I also boosted it just a little bit, so I wasn't cutting too much because you got to remember earlier in the vocal chain, we already rolled off to 80 on my Infinity EQ. We rolled off on the Avalon, and we also rolled off on the SSL. I know it kind of seems a little OD, but like those frequencies on the vocal, you just don't need. You don't want any type of muddy buildup. You want to leave space for that kick and that 808, and you want your vocals to have just enough body to be strong and cut through the mix, but not be muddy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did there. I didn't OD, just a little bit of slight boost on that 100. And then right here, wide bandwidth 4, so it's not sharp on my 8K boost to about 5. I didn't really OD, so about halfway with that. So if I was to take that away, let's just play that, and let me just pull back that 8K so you can hear what that 8K doing. And I'm going to actually solo the vocal real quick.
What you get, people got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't share for shit fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print.
Yeah, so you can see with that 8K on the Pultec, it just gives the vocals a push. It gives the vocals way more energy. You know what I'm saying? So I always like to boost that frequency on the Pultec. I love the way it sounds. Now, it all depends how much. Every mix is different. Sometimes I'm only boosting this 2. Sometimes I'm boosting it 8 or 9. It all depends on the vocalist. But this particular song didn't really need too much. He coming with the energy. It's pretty much cutting through, so I boosted it about 5.5. So let's play that one more time.
Pills, but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't share for shit fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print. Cartier's on. I can't see shit. This a different tip. I'm on a different level. I need me a different bitch. I'm Mrs. Mike.
All right, yeah, bro, going crazy. So look, after that, I hit it with the Pole Child, man. You know, one of my favorite compressors. Same time constant 3. I like this compressor because it's so simple. It's almost like a one-size-fits-all type of compressor, you know what I'm saying? All of these different time constants really affect how the compressor is going to grab and release the vocal. But my favorite is 3. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm using 3 damn near every mix, you know what I'm saying, for this particular compressor. The main thing that changes is my input gain and my threshold, depending on the vocal, depending on what I did before I got to the pole child. You know, it's a whole bunch of different variables that go with that. But real simple. 4 main knobs you're messing with. I'm gonna just play it without it, and then I'm gonna reintroduce it so you can kind of see what that did.
People got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't shine for shit. Fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print.
So as you can hear, that pole child really made them vocals pop out. I'm gonna do it one more time. This is without it, and then I'm gonna enable it about halfway through. You guys will see it come on.
Put on fit, do that shit with confidence. What you see is what you get. People got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't shine for shit. Fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print. Cartier's on, I can't see shit. This a different tip. I'm on a different level. I name me a different bitch. I'm Mrs. Mike.
All right, cool. That sounds dope. All right, next, I'm taming more peaks, SS peaks, all that. Another one of my favorite compressors, UAD 1176. 1176, one of my favorites, real simple to use. You just mainly worried about ratio, attack, and release. Your input and output knob are just controlling the levels, but your input knob is going to control how hard this compressor is working. So right now it's at 24, for example, and I'm going to let you see how it's working.
What you get, people got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't shine for shit. Fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print.
All right, so as you can see, it's working pretty hard. It's staying around that 5 dB range and a little bit over it sometimes. Now, if I was to pull this back and I wasn't sending the vocal in as loud, it wouldn't be working as loud. So let's just pull it back to like 30 and see what that does, just real quick.
What you see is what you get. People got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't shine for shit. Fake.
So as you can see, so if you ever feel like your compressor is not working hard enough, or you can't really hear the compression, or you're not getting the desired amount of compression, that's because your line signal, like your level, is not coming in hard enough. But I wanted this compressor to kind of hit this vocal and really grab this vocal, and I wanted you to be able to hear, and I wanted this vocal to be real up front, so I'm pushing it. I got it at 24, so let's play that one more time.
People got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't shine for shit. Fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print. Cartier's on, I can't see.
All right, right there. All right, so that sounds good. So what I did was a medium attack right here and kind of like a medium fast release, you know what I'm saying? So the bigger the number on this compressor, the faster. The smaller the number, the slower. So just remember that. If you don't know how to use an 1176, train your ears by just knowing that the bigger the number, the faster, and the smaller the number, the slower. So if I wanted to go with a slow attack, I would put this all the way on 1. But I'm trying to grab this vocal pretty fast and tame these peaks, because I don't really want these peaks and all these sounds to get through. I want the vocal to be level all the way throughout, no matter what he's doing. If he's getting loud, I want you to be able to feel that he's getting loud, but I don't really want it to pop out. I want everything to still be uniform. If he's getting low, I want you to still be able to hear that moment as well. So that's basically what I'm doing. So I'm grabbing it pretty fast, and I'm holding it a decent amount of time, but not like OD. So it's releasing it pretty fast too, so it kind of balances out. So just play with that, and you'll find your compression sound. Play with attack and release and just listen. Put it all the way on slow. Listen to what that sounds like. Put it all the way on fast. Listen to what that sounds like. What I will tell you, the faster the attack, if your attack is too fast, it's gonna start to cut off like the pronunciation of the vocals, and the vocals wouldn't cut. So you never want to have too fast of an attack on the compressor, or it's gonna kind of kill your performance. All right. So next, after that, I just put a de-esser on here, man. A golden frequency, a frequency that I often use a lot, is around like 5-6K. On here, I'm using like 5 and some change, so 5141. And my threshold is pretty aggressive. I got it on wide, and this is what it's doing. I'm gonna let you guys see that work.
What you see is what you get. People got opinions but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 cause they chain it, don't shine for shit. Fake. I'm on fake a kid again. BG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print. Cartier's on.
All right, so yeah, that sounds like money, man. That sounds great. So I'll break down the sends for y'all real quick before I get out of here. We kind of running out of time, and my camera running down a little bit. So real quick on the sends, I'm running the doubler, like I always told y'all with the doubler on here. I'm using the same settings every time on my doubler. That's just something that's a part of my vocal chain that I'm always going to use. It always helps me out a little bit, gives me a little bit of body, so that's that right there. Just feeding that in ever so slightly, barely feeding that in, so let me play it.
What you see is what you get. People got opinions, but
So you can see it down there. It's very, very, very slight. Now, just to give y'all an example of what would have happened if you was to just turn up the doubler crazy, let me solo it. It's at negative 36 right now. Let me just crank it up.
don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 because they chain it on share for shit.
See how you get that weird, like, double effect? Like, if you're looking for that effect, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But right here, I'm just looking to give it just, like, a little bit of body. That's it.
Fake, how more fake can it get? KG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print, Cartier's on, yeah.
All right. So then after that, I hit it with a verb. I always EQ my reverbs. Always EQ your reverbs. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to just have a clean reverb. So I rolled off the lows that I don't need. I rolled off the extreme highs just so that reverb is not sharp. It's a very heard reverb in this song. So it's, you know, it can over dominate the vocal sometimes. So what you want to do, make sure them lows is rolled off. Make sure them extreme highs is rolled off. And I'm actually using an H verb this time, and I got it on this warm plate. My reverb time is 4, and my size is pretty big. It's pretty much maxed out. Now my pre-delay is at 50. So pre-delay, that's just the amount of time that reverb is gonna actually take to take effect. So if your pre-delay is like 0, reverb's going as soon as the vocals is going. If you push your pre-delay back, it'll give those vocals a little bit of room to breathe and kind of give them a little bit of space, and then that reverb will flow in. So I always like to have a good pre-delay. You got to just use your ears. Some people even go as far as to doing the exact math to get like the perfect reverb time and perfect pre-delay, but I've mixed so many songs that I can just use my ear. I know what feels and sounds right. So I just catch the vibe. I use my ear. As long as I know I got my right tempo. My tempo set to 80, so all my time-based effects are going to be on time. After that, all I did was I just fed my reverb in. So right here on my fader right here, you can see I fed it in at negative 16. And I'm sorry, y'all, I gotta hurry up. My camera look like it's about to die. So after I did my reverb, I put a repeater on here just for one of my short delays. This is a half note. And then I had my shortest delay, my 1/8 D that I'm running throughout the whole entire song. These are the settings for that right here. Set to the BPM, 1/8 D, a little bit of high pass and a little bit of low pass just to separate that delay from the main vocal a little bit. And you hear that throughout the whole song. So I'm going to just play it and kind of solo the vocal.
Pills, but don't got time for it. I gave them 50-50 because they chain it on share for shit. Fake, how more fake can it get?
And the delays mixed with the reverb, mixed with the other delays and everything come together to put this vocal in the space that it's in right now. It's not just the verb. It's the short delays. It's the medium delays. It's everything feeding in together. So if we closing out all of that, the last thing I did was my automated delays, which was actually from Soundtoys. So this right here, this is my last one. So just the Echo Boy Jr. And on the Echo Boy Jr. right here, this is where I really did it at. On the Echo Boy Jr., this was the main portion right here. So this part where the beat drops off, I just kind of wanted that word to linger over, and for the next couple phrases just to linger over. But to make sure that these did not get in the way, and this is a good trick to make sure that your vocals don't get in the way of that your delays don't get in the way of your vocals, is to parallel compress them. A quick way to parallel compress them is use the R compressor from Waves, and then you side chain it. So your side chain would be the bus that your main vocals is on. So in my case, it's bus 4. So I got that set to bus 4, and my ratio is all the way. So 50, we slamming it on the ratio. And then you just put in your threshold to how you want that the sound to come through. So let's just play it, and you'll see that as he's rapping, you'll see that the compressor is attenuating that delay. So check it out.
KG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print, Cartier's on.
So when he says print again, after it echoes out, it kind of chops that delay off. Now, if I was to take this off, it'll sound like this.
Fake, how more fake can it get? KG Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington Print, Cartier's on, yeah. I can't see shit. This a different tip.
So it's not as clean. It still sounds okay because it's in the right time, but it's not. It's lingering over into the next phrase instead of getting chopped off or at least turned down so much that you barely notice it. So let's play it again with it, and I'll play it with the beat too.
Frank print, Andrew Jackson print, George Washington print, Cartier's on, yeah. I can't see shit. This a different tip. I'm on a different level. I need me a different bitch. I'm Mrs. Michelangelo. Who can I paint the picture with? Who gon' come inside my palace, make the house rules strict? I need a
All right, man. So I'm gonna wrap it up right there, man. I appreciate y'all. If this video helped you out in any type of way, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment. If you're brand new, go ahead and subscribe to your boy. Join the fam. We have a new content every single week. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you like the song, man, it's coming out soon. Go ahead and check out my boy J-Boy. I'm gonna make sure I link him in the description. He's super fire. He stay working, so y'all can expect to hear a lot more music from him. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. I'm out.
Put that shit up, kid.